Marcel, Manchester United 1, Brighton 3. Predicted a difficult game, predicted it could be uncomfortable today. We got embarrassed, bro. We got embarrassed in the end. I know there's some little good bits you can take, but at the end of the day, we've lost 3-1 at home to Brighton, and they were in second gear, not even with their best team. So, how do you feel having witnessed that?
Upset, extremely upset with how the team have played today. Interesting one, because I thought today we would have at least stuck to our principles a little bit, had wide players, wingers. Ten Hag's gone today with 2 strikers, in Rashford and Højlund up front, and we kind of looked like things were gonna work a little bit for the first
15-20 minutes was actually some of the best football we'd played. So again, remember what we said in the car?
Yeah, bro.
20 minutes, 30 minutes. What happens if you don't score? A little bit of adversity, they score, what happens?
What happens when we do score and then we realise it's taken away from us, like just 2 weeks ago, and emotionally balancing that?
There you go.
Bro, you said it perfectly when you were talking about the Arsenal game and just our mental side of things. You're exactly right, and you could see it again today. We go down or go early straight away, heads drops first few minutes of the game. Even the other 2 goals, they're identical goals, second and third goal from that left-hand side. Someone not picking up the pockets, the midfielders, the strikers kind of playing off the backs of the midfielders and not really playing towards his strikers, back against the striker, the centre-back, sorry, our centre-backs, Martinez and Lindelof. We were just shocking, man. That second half as well. I don't know what happened. What is Ten Hag actually saying to them? And why has he changed the system the way that he has? Why
has that puzzled you? Like, we were talking about Palestri, or you wanted Garnacho, but what we did agree on was that it needed to be a 3 and keep the width and still have your midfielders. How are you seeing that decision from Ten Hag to kind of play a diamond today?
Is it because it looked like it worked centrally? They had to play around us. I mean, for the second and third goal, it's exactly the same. They make their way up through the wide areas, and then they can't get into the middle area. So then they have to go back and start again. Draw us out, draw the whole football club out of our half of the pitch, up into their half, and then they pick us again. And then they just very patient. Control, patience, all things that Ten Hag was saying last season, we've seemed to lost this season. And it's kind of just everywhere. I expected us not to lose here, and
you said we bloody wouldn't lose a game here all flipping year,
bro.
It's the 3rd game at home we've lost,
bro. I didn't anticipate Ten Hag to play 2 forwards like this. I didn't anticipate that, and Casemiro. And for me, this was never a Ten Hag player, if that makes sense. I think it's 6. He wants someone to carry the ball and drive the ball. 3 or 4
about his performance. What you said,
bro? 3 or 4 bypasses in a row, and then you complain. Like he played 1 pass off the pitch and then played another one in the same, within the same few minutes, and is blaming other players. Careless with a challenge. When he loses the ball on a counter charge, just wants to put flying tackles into nobody to try and make up for it. He's not there. He's not physically. He doesn't look. He looks a bit jaded. We need someone. Amrabat, I think, is going to be a blessing when he comes in, but I just think the players mentally are just so poor, man, and structurally Ten Hag got it wrong today, and it's concerning, because he had to kind of deal with Scott shouldn't be at the club, Maguire shouldn't be at the club, There's certain players here that if things were done properly at the top, it would trickle down and you would see it reflect on the pitch that the manager's able to utilize good players or has players accessible to him. 100 injuries as well. There's just so many. It's a melting pot of poor issues right now, and you're seeing it reflect on the pitch, because that's. But
to push back on, on the 10, just to ask the other side of the argument, because a lot of people have said that today about Glazers and he's had so much to deal with in a short space of time, and of course I agree with that. Yeah. But we can't not look at what Ten Hag has had, and it's another year on with the same team, so they should be a bit more familiar. And we're not, if we're being honest. Well, I want to tell you, I want to ask you, are you seeing enough with the players that he has had at his disposal? And I know there's been injuries and awful for Ten Hag to sort out. A lot of injuries, stuff going on off the pitch, Glazers for sale, the sale process, all of that stuff. But the decisions that he made today, this 90 minutes, the substitutions as well.
At the end of the game, bro, how long was it taking for Maguire, for Wan-Bissaka and Garnacho to come on to really try and affect the game? Why have you taken off Højlund, the most productive player? Okay, yes, you might want to preserve him.
I don't think I think that would have been organised, and you could see what the crowd thought of that.
Yeah, bro, no one was happy about that, and understandably, he's the most exciting player, the one that looked like had a bit of spark to him. But just on what you're saying in terms of what Ten Hag done in this 90 minutes, a lot of things were wrong.
Did he get it completely wrong?
I don't think it's completely wrong. I could understand where it was. He's trying to shut off the centre of the pitch, and it was working.
It worked for a bit.
It worked, and then even with their 2 goals, Scott McTominay's not getting out to Lamptey quick enough. They're like the principles.
Ericsson on Veltman, same thing. But that's the square pegs in round holes, though. Like, what about the reaction to, okay, it's worked for 20 minutes, now we're a goal down, get to half time. It was very rigid, and we just carried on playing that same formation with the same problems happening.
Again, bro, we have to put our hands up. Ten Hag got it wrong in this game, but all the work prior to that allows him to make a mistake here. He's had so many issues and variables that he's had to adjust with. If he had his whole working side, he plays the formation that we know him to play. Last season was the 4-2-3-1 and that kind of thing. He's now moved it. He's tried to really play his own system and structure. The 3-2-5, the 3-1-6. Today he's completely changed it. I don't know if it's because of injuries.
So is he overthinking it? Is he
mustard against the Zerbi? The Zerbi's technically outclassed him today in this fixture. Throughout the course of the season, yes, we've been poor and we've been open, but that's because he's been experimenting and trying new things against Wolves, against Nottingham Forest. This season, he's tried to evolve the formation and style of play, completely different to last season.
We look worse.
But there's fouls, there's dynamics and variables going on with the club. There's player attitude. Rashford doesn't want to defend. There's so many issues, Flex, that I think is the reason why the team's not looking good, and it's only looking good for 20 minutes because it's like that's the last thing they heard, and now they want to kind of add that attitude and desire for 20 minutes, and then when, like you pointed out 2 weeks ago, when something happens bad, it's like they're emotionally, they're not able to just fix up, get it right, steady the ship. Okay, this is not going in our favor. And you just need more leaders. I don't know if it's more leaders or just a better quality, but they're not able to carry out 10 instructions for a long duration of time, and it's you get this.
How do we come out of this mini rut here? Because this isn't good. This Arsenal away. Okay, we saw some positives, and you lose in the last minute. It was a different type of game. That there today. Okay, you changed up the formation, but essentially that's a bad a bad result, and Brighton were comfortable once they worked us out. You then have to go away to Bayern Munich, you come back, you then go away to Burnley, which is never an easy place to go, even though it's not Burnley of old. How do you see this little period? Are you concerned?
No, managers have to manage and players have to play. That's how you get out of these films. I was saying it to you a couple of years ago. When players were playing poorly, they have to keep playing to get out of that. You have to face the demons. You have to face the poor performances. Ten Hag has to face this. The 4-2-2 or whatever it was today, and the diamond in the middle doesn't work. Change it. He's allowed to make these mistakes and experiment because all the work thus far has been perfect. The way he's handled all the players, football first, throughout every single situation, it's been football first. So trust him on this. He's made a mistake. He will do it, football first. Against Bayern Munich, he'll set up it, hopefully with the original principles. But we've got so many injuries, Flex. It's like we're all kind of guessing what team he plays. He's in a very, very tight position, and he's tried to work something out today. It didn't work. We got embarrassed by De Zerbi, who has a clear structure. Look how comfortable they were. Okay, we are trying to draw you out, and you've allowed us to go down the wing. No problem. We'll wait for you all to come back, get behind the ball, and then we'll start drawing you out again and play backwards. They understand their system, similar to Pep. It doesn't matter who comes in, everyone knows the job. Pedro scored the goal in the exact same position that the other player, Gross, scored the goal today. You know what I'm saying? They all understand where to be and when to be. Our players don't have that yet. And it's hard when you've got previous management, that play counter-attacking football, Mourinho, Ole, all these kind of players. They had those players with those kind of mentalities. Now we're trying to convert that. We're seeing, teething period. We're seeing problems. All the greatest managers in the league had that in their first couple of seasons, trying to adjust things. Pep, Klopp. So, it's part and parcel of it. I did hope that it would be a fortress here. But, it's proven, we've got very, very weak mentality at the moment.
Bro. Nice one.